Hello, dear students. This is a brief presentation about what is ecotourism, and this is Angie Shaukat. Well, at the early beginning, you have to make somehow a brainstorming, asking yourself, what is ecotourism? And making a keyword map for yourself, focusing on it through the highlight words that you will use in your design. Many entities started to create their own map word. But according to the International Ecotourism Society, there were several principles should be there in any project to follow an ecotourism principle. So let's focus on some of them. Well, the first is recognizing rights and spiritual beliefs of the indigenous people in the community, or we can find it in other websites as respecting the host culture. كل منطقة بيكون ليها الculture بتاعتها بيكون ليها its own people with their uh, um, goals objectives with their identity فما ينفعش I go and design in a space without knowing and having the perception of the values of this community and putting plans and managing the resources according to the stakeholders of this space itself. فممكن يكون ده it's a good opportunity for me as a designer as an approach to enter a unique design, you know. An example for this is Kona Village Resort in Hawaii. It has been a hotspot for an ecotourism for more than 40 years. It used some keywords as community support, wildlife protection, how we care about in the environment, and its slogan was greening here and there. Well, another example with a different approach for a design is the Vincent Calibo Envisions in Philippines. Somehow it's a technological or using technology in the project and the construction of it, but it is so far integrated with the environment, integrated with the seashore even there. And when they focused on the design of the body itself, of the building itself, they focused on the ecological situation of the concerning the wind directions, concerning the articulation of the building itself to be corresponding to the wind. You can search for it. It's a very interesting project as well. Another principle is providing positive experience for both visitors and hosts, or providing direct financial basics for conservation. And on other websites, it was mentioned as maximizing the benefits to local people. Well, I have searched and found something that is very interesting. Mantis, it's a group of hotels and resorts. It's a brand by itself. When you visit it, you have to find an intimate experience, focusing on different scopes as ecoscapes, a free roaming land for wildlife, if it exists, managing urban wastes using the vernacular trend when using um, the insight materials. But so far, they promise that we will do anything in our power to advance the cause of sustainability and to promote further appreciation of the land. As well, to maximize tourism satisfaction, you have to deliver a memorable interpretative experience to visitors. Different resorts are now fighting to have a safe tourism report, ISO certification, as well as we have to move forward for ecotourism certification. And on the contradictory of maximizing tourist satisfaction, we have to minimize environmental impacts. Well, we have two scenarios. The first scenario that we have already is seen that the country or the city has, where we have to preserve it. The second scenario is to create a scene, to create a building, to create a village, to create a resort. Well, in 2019, in April, urban waste came to its end in Tuscany and Florence. This was a headline in newspaper by the Ministry of Environmental of Tuscany. It's very interesting to find out that the project has brought positive results, encouraging regional and local policymakers to further investment. And that may be a mission or a target that should be taken by cities that do not have uh, the scene which is ready as scenario number one. Well, as we mentioned in environmental impacts, we have to talk about risk management. What is risk management? How to control it? Risk management is dealing with the project from its early beginning and moving with it according to each phase or stage, construction, implementation, or in between. And somehow you will need a transmit point to reverse and come back from the starting point or from some point in it. Researchers said that we have five main risk management phases, starting from the concept of the project until the project close. Accordingly, and according to what we have said before, that risk management and the ecological approach and your design and your conceptual design cannot be away from the context of the project. ما اقدرش اقول ان انا whatever the project that I will design ممكن احطه anywhere, and this plan for the ecological solutions هينفع مع البروجكت ده, or this study for the managemental or risk management هتنفع برضو مع البروجكت ده. No way. It has to be specific according to the response to the context itself. One of the context in your project in this year is how to deal with slopes, contouring, topo. Will you put some of the buildings on the slope, in the slope, over the slope, in between the topographical lines? How can I deal with them? Within a wider vision, within an urban planning vision, it doesn't mean that I have to take the shortest path to find a correct path. Maybe to respect contour and to make it safe for users, that will make me have or design a longer path. طيب, how do ordinary solutions go through dealing with contouring or topo? في four different types to deal with them. The first two types are mainly under the title of perpendicular strategy. When we focus on number A, we find that it's non-planned, not based on a clear geometrical principles. ممكن في حتة أخده perpendicular, and then on another side I can take it as a parallel. Although in number B we have a perpendicular strategy واضحة بعدي through all the topos, and to have a perpendicular. Every solution is depending about the side itself, وكل واحدة فيهم ليها البوزيتيف والنيجاتيف effects عليا. يعني أنا مثلا لما أعمل حاجة perpendicular الميلينج بتاعي يبقى قد إيه, السايد بتاعي يبقى عامل إزاي, الكوست بتاع حاجة زي كده هتبقى عاملة إزاي. Moving for number C, the curved structure. So far it is the easiest one, the most safe solution. And we have number D, which is the toughest way, which is the bisectory structure. Okay, is the topo is dealing with how to solve or find out way to create paths? No, of course it's dealing as well with ecological solution. If the site has a flood, how can a topographical solutions be there? And according to site layers or soil layers, I mean, how can groundwater be used? How a drain field could be created? How I can manage the water under the soil? Again, the soil, النيتشر بتاعت السويل دي, is it rocky, is it sandy, and how I expect the motion of the water in it. Even the softscape I want to design or I want to create, I have to have another vision. ممكن تتجمع فين according to the soil itself. As well, we have to study well the site and the surroundings. If there are any torrents, لو في مخرات سيول بتبقى المنبع بتاعها فين and فين هم بيصبوا. Where can I use it, or I should it's so strong and so heavy that I have to have a buffer zone around it. فعلى حسب ال geographical situation بتاع السايت بتاعي. Well, all previous points were very important, as well as evacuation. It's a major point when dealing especially with buildings on topos. Well, of course, in Egypt, we have the Egyptian Fire Prevention Code, as well as the NFPA or NFPA. In America, it is used as guidelines, and the International Building Code and others like the Emirates, the Saudians, the Canadian, and much, much more. They all have two main missions. The first one is how to save people's life. The mission number one for all these codes is to save people's life, the users, the stakeholders' life. While the second one is how to increase the performance of the building until it is reached with an external hand. يعني اقدر قد ايه اقدر احافظ على المبنى بتاعي يبقى resistance للفاير بتاعه اعلى لحد ما تيجي لي مساعدات خارجية مطافي or others. For your deep knowledge, buildings are mainly in codes يعني divided according to الإشغال بتاعه أو what is used for it. والإشغال is أو يعني when we say about the use of the building, it's not only a head title, we have subtitles in it. يعني مثلا سكني it's not all سكني، ففي سكني فندقي، في سكني اللي هو a family house. Each of them differs. طبعا each of them differs. Second one is the height of the building. Is a super high rise? Is it a high rise? Is a traditional height. كل ده بيفرق معايا في ايه كمان choosing the material. الماتيريال اللي هستخدمه ايه. It has to be fire resisted قد ايه 2 hours 3 hours. السكeleton بتاع المبنى لازم يكون واقف معايا قد ايه according to الهايت بتاعه و according to اليوز بتاعه. فالايفاكويشن بتاع الناس هيحصل في قد ايه ان المبنى يفضل resisting the fire and the heat. Type and on the other hand, when we talk about humans and saving their lives, what we really be afraid of, it's not the fire, it's the smoke. السموك هو المشكلة الأكبر، هو اللي بيعمل خنقة، هو اللي بيعمل this hilarious situation. Within 3 minutes مفروض إن احنا نكون evacuation تكون كاملة for any building من الناس بتاعته. Well, في عندي two solutions, and then I go for an outdoor area or I go to a refuge area. And here you have to focus on a refuge area in your project. What are refuge areas? Refuge areas, it's a safe area that people should wait in it until an external hand come. يعني أنا عندي مكان بيكون outdoor or safe or protected or it's a fire isolated zone وبيكون refuge بيقدر رجال المطافي بعد كده يقدروا يوصلوا له easily ويكون الناس اللي فيه عارفين أنا very well familiar with it وعارفين هو ده مكان safe فخلاص ما بيبقاش في حالة البانيك و they wait until الناس بتجيلهم. طيب when I do an urban design, how can I use this? I have the point which is the zone or the space and a line اللي هو الباث بتاعي. فايه الcirculation اليوزر ده هيستخدمها هيمشي عليها until he reach the refuge area or the zones. whenever I do spaces or zones even مفتوحة في الurban design, I have to know the circulation بتاعة الإغاثة أو بتاعة الهروب. حتى ده موجود في الurban. طبعا موجود في الurban. مش في المطلق، مش في مفتوح وخلاص، لا according to الurban context ساعات بيطلب في بعض البروجكت ان احنا نعمل fire strategy ولما يكون في topography بنعوز fire strategy related with الcirculation بتاعت عربية المطافي، ممكن تطلع قد إيه، inclination قد إيه، بسرعة قد إيه، والناس ممكن تتجمع فين في مكان safe لحد ما يجي لها إيد المساعدة. And finally, design within a concept acknowledge. يعني ما أعملش design it's only كده، لا، I have to have enough knowledge to start my conceptual design. And now I recommend that you do your own ecotourism word map according to your knowledge and according to your conceptual design. And as a recommendation as well, please leave nothing but your footprint. You have to see to leave something special in your design. And I do believe that you can do this. Okay? Thank you very much.